Yeah. Okay, Will.
A boat. What? Well, I don't know. It's crazy. Um. So, uh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Learn English with Teachify. oh,
Oh no.
oh, oh, I'm a bit under the weather today. Oh, I'm sorry. To be under the weather is to be a little bit sick. So I'm a bit under the weather. But anyway, enough about me. Mickey, how are you?
I'm not under the weather. I am as fit as a fiddle. There's an expression for you. Pulled it out of the bag, which means I am in good health at the moment. I am as fit as a fiddle. Um, yeah, I'm pretty good. Other than that, I'm pretty good. Will, how are you? I see the look of disgust on your face for some reason, and I don't know why.
I honestly, I don't know why either, but I felt the feeling. It's when people are sick. I try to, try to keep them at a distance. I don't like to get sick, but I'm feeling pretty great to be honest. I was a few weeks ago, or well, actually a week ago. I wasn't too great, but I'm
What what
back
what did
on
you what
my.
did you have a week ago?
That's a great question. I was just a little. I came down with something. Okay, I became a little bit sick from something. I caught a sickness, and yes, I came down with something. I was under the weather, but now I'm back on my feet.
Oh, amazing,
And
amazing. So,
thank you for your concern, Mickey.
No
we're
problem.
glad that you're feeling better. And if somebody's sick, by the way, what do you tell them? What is the phrase we use in English? If
Get
you're,
away from me.
Suck it
for
up.
example,
Okay,
No.
all right.
what do we say?
Rest up? I don't know.
Rest up,
Oh, the typical one. Drink plenty of water.
drink plenty of water.
uh,
Um,
get well soon.
there we go. Get well soon or get better soon.
Yeah,
So
mine
yeah,
was Mickey.
hopefully I'll get better soon. But today we're going to be speaking about being sick, being under the weather, and we're going to go over as many idioms and phrasal verbs as possible during the next 20 minutes or so. But first, a little chit chat related to a topic. Mickey, when was the last time that you were a bit under the weather, that you were a bit sick?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been sick for a while, actually. I can't remember the last time. I'm usually okay. I don't normally get too ill. Um, I might get a little bit of a cold or some sniffles, sometimes throughout the year. But at the moment, it's been pretty good so far this year. Yeah, I'm okay. I can't really remember actually. What about you? Well, obviously now you're a little bit ill.
Now I'm a little bit ill, yeah, but it's nothing major. It's just when you wake up, usually in the morning, if you've got a cold, it's worse, and you've got to like clear your throat. And then I have a little espresso, I have a cup of tea, and then as the day goes on, I can breathe breath better, and I don't have a blocked nose, and I don't need to blow my nose. And related to that, more vocabulary. I love explaining this. Um, if you blow your nose, what is it that you're trying to
Oh.
get rid of? We have one word which is for the solid version, and another word which is for the liquid version. Will,
Do we? I don't know this.
yeah, it'll come to you. But I'm curious, Will, do you know what I'm on about?
Well, I do. I only know a couple of words. Oh no, I think I do. Hey, let's play a game.
Let's find
Okay,
out.
let's find out. Let's find out together. So, if, for example, if it's solid, people pick their nose
Uh-huh.
and then they do this.
Or,
Okay.
or
Yeah, I never understood this.
oh, right.
I never, it's never, I know people do it because you see it on Instagram Reels, people get caught on the bus. I never understood that, never did it. Anyway, So
Sure.
this would be, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah. Okay, Will.
a bow. What? What? I don't know. It's crazy. So a bogey is
Oh
something
yeah.
you pick, okay, and you flick.
Uh-huh.
You pick and flick a bogey. Uh,
So bogey is the one that you can flick, so it's solid.
absolutely. And when it and when it's not, if solid, it's not. It's not.
Hey!
Oh, I like it.
Snot. Snot. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, is he saying it's not really quickly? I'm not. I'm saying it's
Not.
not.
So in case that is unclear to anyone, when you are blowing your nose, um, when you get rid of the solid pieces of like green stuff, they are bogies. And in American English, they actually say boogers, but in
Oh, they
British,
do.
we say bogies. And if it's liquid and you have a runny nose, then we call it snot. Snot. Beautiful, right?
Nice way to start the podcast or YouTube video today. Which, by the way, guys, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and push the bell. We always forget to say this, but today we haven't.
Good job on remembering. So Mickey, you don't usually get sick. You don't usually get ill. Will, how about you? Do you remember the last time you took a day off work? If you took a day off sick?
Ooh. No,
Will doesn't take days off sick. I don't think Will has ever taken a day off sick.
yeah,
And I don't
usually,
think he has either.
yeah, I'd
And
actually,
you have been ill sometimes.
never. I don't know what you're talking about. I remember I got sick, I think in like September or October last year. And I remember telling my student, I haven't been sick for years. She was like, you were sick exactly this time last year. And I was like, no, I wasn't. And then I checked the WhatsApp messages and I was sick. Yeah, exactly. So 1 year. I think I get sick every year, September, October. But no, I don't. I try not to take any time off. I don't think.
Actually, Lewis, I mean, you've been sick, but you don't really take time off either, do you?
I mean, I always feel bad if I take time off for being
Yeah.
sick. 100%. If you've got an event and you need to go to a wedding and you need to book flights, then
Right.
sometimes it's inevitable.
Well,
But like being sick, I have to be really sick to book a day off work. Because if you've just got a cold or something like this, then we're at home. It's not like we need to be lifting bricks and doing stuff outdoors. We can just tell the student, like, sorry, I'm a bit under the weather. So let's go over some vocabulary related to the topic, but you speak.
Yeah. How about like, so when you guys are sick, who looks after you? Who takes care of you?
Well, Will looks like he takes care of himself. I'd say my darling girlfriend takes care of me and cooks me food and gives me lots of hugs and kisses.
Would you have a chicken soup? Is that the go-to?
Chicken soup is a good one when you're sick. Any kind of soup, I think, makes you feel better. But
Yeah.
to be honest, when I'm sick, I never lose my appetite. So I can still eat just as much as always. And that's the great thing. Staying at home, being sick, and then being like, oh, should I order a pizza? Yeah, of course.
you don't like when you're sick. You don't try and eat healthy to no.
I'll have a lot more orange juice, vitamin C, but that's about it. If I can have fruit, perfect. But with like savory food, I'll just eat the same as always. By the way, important thing, salty and savory. So if something is salty in English, it means that it is too salty. It has too much salt on it. I could say that, oh, this chicken soup, it's really salty. Can I have some more water? Whereas savory is just any type of food that isn't sweet. So pasta is savory food. A pie is savory food. A curry is savory food. And on that note, Mickey, what do you prefer? Savory food or sweet food?
Oh, definitely savory food. I like the taste of salt. I love salt. Maybe a little bit too much. And I feel like I'm being healthy because I have the pink salt, but it's basically just salt. So it's not any difference. But in my mind, it feels like it's better.
For
Probably
being
not any
pink.
better. Yeah, it's that Himalayan salt, isn't it? They say
Uh-huh.
there's some nutritional benefits to it. I think it's bullshit. I think it's just salt, which is pink. I don't know. Like, there's always some nutritional benefit to something, and then it will be something else in a year's time. But yeah, makes me feel better at least, so that's fine. But yeah, I like salt.
Mhm. Perfect. Cool. All right.
Sorry, sorry. You're like, hey, calm down. Like,
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now,
yeah.
let's get straight into the advanced vocabulary related to the topic. So we're going to take it in turns first, going over some idioms related to health. I've already mentioned that I am under the weather. If you're under the weather, you're a little bit sick. Will, you also mentioned another idiom earlier on, which was related to being fit or related to feeling better. What was it?
It's a great question, Lewis, because I can't really remember, but I
Perfect.
imagine it was something to do with being back on my feet.
Uh-huh.
So, I was in bed, horizontal, and then
Uh-huh.
when I felt better, I just went and landed on my feet. So now I'm back on my feet, and yeah, I mean, it was a crazy time. Um, but here we are, we made it. Okay. I didn't kick the bucket.
Oh,
Ooh.
what does that mean?
I've got a bucket next to my bed. And no, it means when you die.
Nice.
I
I
know.
know, lovely.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
throw that in there. I just want to make sure everyone knows. It was obvious that I did it because I'm here. I mean, or am I?
I don't
But
know.
it's
You could be AI.
woo, one day. So to kick the bucket is to die, and to be back on your feet is to feel better after being sick.
Nice. I've got another one which we can chuck in there, which is to be on the mend. So this is you're not fully recovered, but you're in the process of recovering. So I could say I've been a little bit poorly. Do you guys say poorly, by the way? You do.
I say poorly. I
You
think
say
it's
I
a
poorly.
very English thing.
I think I'm an adult now, so I don't. So like I stopped when I was about 11.
I think it's nice to say I'm poorly or I'm
Mummy, I'm a
sick.
bit poorly.
I'm poorly. You say that.
I do, yeah.
I can't imagine you just sending me a message and like, "Hey, you right, mate?" And you just say, "Oh, I'm a bit poorly."
Okay, well, I would say it sounds nice to say. So anyway, when you're a little bit poorly and you're not fully recovered, you can say I'm on the mend. So you're gradually getting better, but you're not yet 100%. So you are on the mend.
Perfect. Oh, well, I'm glad you're not poorly anymore.
Yeah, God. Ooh,
Let's keep going with some health idioms because there are so many. And the next one is actually one that I'd like to use to refer to someone who's a bit old, but they're still very healthy and very fit. So I've just got back home to England, staying with my mum and dad. And my dad's like 66 or 67, but he's fit as a fiddle. To be fit as a fiddle is to be fit, to be healthy, but it's particularly used with older people. We wouldn't say that my little teenage cousin is fit as a fiddle. No, it just
Mm.
doesn't go. It doesn't make sense. So to be fit as a fiddle is to be in good shape, to be fit when you are reaching an elderly age.
It's interesting. Sorry, just it's interesting you say that, Lewis, because you need to be a little bit old and recognize that there is age involved to be fit as a fiddle, right?
I feel like you're having a dig at me there, Will. Can you clarify this?
I seem to remember that I just wanted to highlight that Lewis said, when you're older,
Uh-huh.
and you're in shape, you know, you feel good or whatever. And oh, whoa, sorry. You used this expression at the beginning of the podcast, right?
I did. I
That's
did. And I was
crazy.
referring to myself because
Whoa.
I'm a young buck still, but I feel that I'm maturing like a bottle of wine, you know?
Exactly, like a fine wine.
Yeah, notice there's one, two, then there's a few bottles of beer behind as
Oh
well.
no. Yeah, there's a lot going on back there. It's been a productive few days.
For those of you who are not watching us right now, then do check out the video on YouTube. But if you're just listening, right now, Mickey is in his house, and behind him, you can see the kitchen. And just on the worktop, you can see like 10 bottles of wine and
No.
5 bottles of vodka. So, yeah, it looks like
Uh,
he's had a bit of a do. He's had a bit of a party. Is that right, Mickey?
yeah, a little bit of a shindig party for one. Let's stay on topic. Let's. How about we do some phrasal verbs? Maybe some. Lewis, have you got
Oh,
any that you want to, teach today?
Absolutely. It would be my honor. I love phrasal verbs. Always have done, always will. And the first one I'd like to go over is one that I think Will actually used earlier on in the conversation, and it is to start to feel a bit sick. And this phrasal verb is quite complicated because there are 3 different words. It is to come down with. So obviously at the weekend, maybe I wasn't wearing a coat and I got a bit cold. I caught a cold and I have come down with a cold. So to come down with is to start feeling a little bit sick, to start feeling under the weather. I came
Nice.
down with a cold.
And just to add on to that, Lewis, are you, for anybody for the listeners there, I just forgot this is also an audio format. For the
Can you
listeners there,
explain what you were just doing, Mickey?
I was pretending to punch a speedball for a moment, like boxing,
And
because
I think what Vicky was trying to elicit and tell me was like, Lewis, are you fighting it off? So
that
the
is what I
phrasal verb
wanted to
to
say.
fight something off is to try to get rid of an illness. This is what your immune system does when you're feeling a little bit under the weather. It tries to fight it off. And I'm doing all right. I like to exaggerate and complain that I've got a cold, but here I am with a little bit of a blocked nose and a sore throat, but my body is fighting it off.
Nice, very good.
Oh,
I was gonna say when you don't, when people are feeling sick, you don't like dress up. I notice no one's put much effort in today. I'm the only one wearing a shirt. If I'm sick, I like to put on, you know, dress up, wear a
yeah,
shirt, feel nice, and maybe, you know, trick yourself into feeling better.
really?
Yeah, today's a casual day for me. I
Yeah, I've
think
seen.
all
I
of
can
us. Yeah.
see.
Um, talking about that actually, when I start to feel a little bit ill, as if I feel like I'm coming down with something I actually like to do is go for a run, not a long one, like just a short, like 15, 20 minutes. And I feel like your body kind of reacts differently. It's like, oh, I'm meant to be sick, but you're doing exercise, and then I don't feel as bad the next day, and I feel like it kind of skips the sickness, kind of tricking your body. And I've been doing that for quite a few years, and I think actually it does work.
I was being serious to an extent. For example, if you start feeling sick, if you just, I'm going to use a phrasal verb here, mope around, which is,
Oof.
you know, just to do nothing in your house, to go from your sofa to your bed to another sofa, to just different positions on the sofa, whatever. This is to mope around. You don't feel better, but if you have a shower, get dressed, you know, do something, then yeah, like Mickey says, you kind of trick your body. Your body is like, whoa, 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 we're sick. What are you doing, you crazy man? But that's just me. Hey,
I'll give it a go. I think in a couple of hours I'll go out for a run, and then at least when you go for a run, you're forced to clear out
No.
your nose and all of these things. So let's see if I feel better and if I get over this sickness. Oh, phrasal verb. So to get over is to overcome or to recover. So if tomorrow morning I wake up feeling much better, I will have got over this cold. Fingers crossed. And we can also use get over if, for example, you've been in a romantic relationship and it didn't work out. And maybe your partner broke up with you, ended the relationship. For a while, you're going to be down in the dumps. You're going to
Or
be
you're going to be
blue.
ecstatic.
Or maybe you'll be really happy. You'll be relieved. But if somebody breaks up with you and you're feeling sad, blue, down in the dumps, it might take a while, but in the end, you will get over it. Your heart will recover, and then you can move on and continue with your life. So many phrasal verbs. Just stop me now, please.
I know. He's on a roll. You're on a roll, Lewis.
yeah, I don't want to stop you. Keep going. All right. Okay.
Okay.
To be honest,
All right.
the what about the last time one of you threw up? There's a phrasal verb for you. When was the last time you threw up? The verb to throw up, to vomit, to be sick. When was the last time you threw up? Do you remember?
I know exactly when mine was, but I'll tell a story in a minute. But Mickey, what about you?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, I mean, the one that springs to mind, the first thought that comes to my head was actually when I stayed at Will's house in Madrid once. But that was quite a few years ago. I have thrown up since then, but this is the one that kind of sticks in my mind. Yeah, that was just purely alcohol induced. It was nothing to do with being sick. It was purely I drank far more than my body could take. And of course, it had to go somewhere. So I threw up in Will's bathroom.
That was a good day. I enjoyed that. That made me smile for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that was it. What was your story, Lewis?
Well, it's time to make a confession that
no.
On Saturday night I went out and I stayed. Well, I was at a house party, kind of birthday party all day, and I was drinking a lot, having a great time. There were lots of little nibbles, lots of little snacks to eat as well. And everything was going well until about 2 o'clock in the morning. And at this point, I was quite drunk, so everything's a little bit blurry. But genuinely, this is quite a scary story. That I'm allergic to peanuts and I'm allergic to nuts. And when I was really drunk, I must have eaten something that had nuts that I'm allergic to. And from this point on, everything's a little bit blurry. But I went over to my girlfriend and I was bright red like a tomato. And I told her, apparently, like, oh, I've just had something that I'm allergic to. And what I did was kind of flee. So I like ran away out of the apartment because I realized that I needed to throw up. And I didn't want to be the center of attention either. So I walked outside, and then I was outside, kind of on the floor, trying to throw up, trying to puke and be sick. And I don't really remember it, but I couldn't breathe that well. And my friends actually called an ambulance.
What?
Yeah, this is 100% true. I'm a little bit embarrassed about it because now
this is serious, Lewis.
This is serious.
You could not be recording this podcast today.
Maybe. But the ambulance came, and then by that point, I had already thrown up, and the allergy was kind of subsiding, and I was getting over it. But even still, because the ambulance had already arrived, they insisted on taking me in the ambulance to the hospital because with allergies, you never know, it might get worse at any point. And I was telling them, whilst a little bit drunk and still very red and still struggling to breathe slightly, like, no, don't worry, it's fine. Because in Belgium, they don't have 100% public health. And me, being stingy, I was thinking like, guys, seriously, you called an ambulance? Now I'm going to have to pay for this when I would be fine in a few hours? So they took me in the ambulance to the local hospital. Me after having thrown up and being sick. And I stayed there for a few hours, kind of nodded off and fell asleep a little bit. And yeah, that was the last time I threw up. And this is why I'm under the weather today, because I must have caught a cold and come down with something whilst throwing up outside.
This was on Saturday.
This was Saturday night. Yeah. And the worst thing is, I don't know how much it's going to cost me.
Oh, no.
And I'll receive a bill in like a month, I'm guessing. And I think it'll be a few hundred.
Ooh,
Really?
Painful.
It is infuriating for me.
I have a question, Lewis.
Go on.
So you've never eaten a Snickers? I'm joking.
I've nibbled on a Snickers.
Great question. We all want to know.
I can't eat peanuts. So yeah.
I have another question.
The end of my sad story.
Like, so you've not really eaten a Snickers. And with the ambulance, what language were you speaking to them in? English, Spanish, French?
I think I was starting in French, and I was like, no, c'est pas nécessaire. Je me sens bien. I was like, it's not necessary. I feel good. But at that point, they were already there, and they insisted on taking me there. So I've done my research, and I think it'll be a few €100, which makes me feel very grateful for the public health in the UK and Spain. Because when you're sick, imagine if you were in America and somebody called an ambulance and you had to pay thousands. It's ridiculous.
Well, Lewis, I'm glad you're okay. And on that note, I have things to do, so let's wrap this up.
Yeah. I just, I was rambling on. I felt like this is my moment to speak about my emotions.
It's a good story.
Yeah. Emotions.
Crazy story. Wow.
But no, I think that was pretty useful. We've gone over so many idioms, so many phrasal verbs. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, as Mickey said, to subscribe, to keep watching the videos, and comment if you'd like us to discuss any particular topics in the future. And yeah, that'll be it for today. Thank you so much. And don't forget to teachify your life.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you later.